Welcome back. In today's video, as promised, I'm going to cover all the skills required to become an engineer in 2026. First thing, without numbers, you can't write or do mathematics, right? Similarly, without core foundations, you are not going to become an engineer. And if you go to interview without these foundations, sometimes you're going to look like a buffoon. So don't do that. So what are these foundations? First is math, in that at least top level knowledge of statistics, probability, top, and secondly, linear algebra. So if you can have basic knowledge on this, you are going to understand lot of algorithms pretty easily. And don't mind my writing because it's horrible. I know it. Now coming to programming foundations, what you need to know? Just Python. I would prefer anyone who doesn't like programming to first not become a engineer, but if you want to actually choose a language, Python is the language I would suggest. Now, you should know some core libraries in the language of your choice. So, which includes TensorFlow, PyTorch, and other standard packages. So, this is just a list of core packages or libraries that you're going to use. Okay, we are done with core foundations. Now, let's go to ML systems. So, this is where a lot of students learn quite a lot. So it includes all the ML algorithms, basically your linear regression, logistic regression, trees, boosting, everything. Okay. You should know or at least have basic knowledge of deep learning. So basically neural networks, which include CNNs and other basics as well. Okay. Now, as mentioned, if you're covering some libraries in Python, the same thing, there are a lot of frameworks which any AI engineer is going to use. These are also the frameworks part of it. And there are a lot of other libraries you're going to use. So you should know them or at least know the names of them to actually use them when you require. Now, coming to the actual thing. So everyone, when they're thinking, I'm going to become a engineer now, first step, they think about LLMs, right? Don't tell me lies that you're not thinking about it. So now, what you need to know. So at the minimum, you need to know what an LLM is, how you're going to call an LLM, and what are the best possible ways to call an LLM. I think this statement covers everything, entire thing. Now, this best way to call an LLM is nothing but inference optimization. So this is just a technical term. Inference is nothing but when you're calling an LLM, how, like, what kind of things you need to keep in mind to make the LLM call smooth and good and ready for production. Okay. I'm gonna try to give as much non-technical language as possible in this video, but I'm gonna cover each of these in detail in future videos as well. So next thing is people who are like this just learned LLMs generally. They try to think like once I join in office, you're gonna train a model immediately. No, that's not gonna happen. Fine tuning and post training you need to have knowledge of, but you're gonna do maybe 5% of times. Most of the time you're gonna just use prompt engineering to cover everything. Okay, so good old prompt engineering, nothing else. You should have very good knowledge on this. This is non-negotiable. And second thing, you should know what LLMs are there. Like there are Llama, Mixtral, and many more. And first thing you should stop saying is ChatGPT. Okay, this is not an LLM. So now coming to the next step, you have LLM. Okay, you're gonna ask it a question. What is my name? Do you think it's gonna tell me Karthik? No, not directly. For example, if you're gonna use ChatGPT and ask your name, if you in your past, if you have given its, in some of the other prompts your name, it's gonna tell it. But if you're just deploying a new LLM and you're asking what is my name, it's not going to tell it because there is something called as training cutoff. For example, this LLM might have been trained in 2024 and it doesn't know about you or anyone else, and generally personal information is not part of training data. So how do you know? You are gonna put relevant data for LLM or context. So basically, you are gonna put relevant data to LLM saying that this is the context you need to answer from. So LLM is gonna answer from the data you are providing. So that is where data and retrieval is gonna come. So you should know vector databases, what they are. For example, Pinecone, Milius, PG Vector, and many more. Everyone, every AI engineer should know what is RAG. Next thing is knowledge representation. This is slightly new. Okay. So here you are going to have knowledge graphs, basically relational data. You're going to give, for example, I'm Karthik. I'm from Hyderabad, which is in Telangana. So these kind of relations, you're going to put in something called as graph database. Good example is what? Neo4j and many more. So once you have knowledge on this, let's go to MLOps. And you're going to say, oh my God, do AI engineers do everything? No, if it's a huge organization, you have different roles. You're not even going to do sometimes the machine learning system part as well. And this deployment is going to be taken care by someone else. But if it's a medium or small organization where you have very few team members and generally AI engineers are paid more and they need to do more. Okay. So what you're going to do? You need to understand first thing, how do you deploy in production? What infra is needed? And simply how your LLM is gonna served optimally. That's it. So this sounds easy, but there are a lot of details in it. I am there. I have joined in a startup, maybe with 75 lakh per annum, whatever it is, right? Now you might also need to do the business and product thinking part, which is some business guys are gonna tell you their problem, and you need to convert that problem into solution. So there is a lot of skill gap in nowadays because people are good in technical skills, but this skill which is required to convert problem statement into solution, which is I promise you very valuable. You're gonna get paid a lot. Is also required. So which includes budgeting. What is the trade-off between cost and quality? If you want quality, sometimes you need to put higher cost because bigger LLMs and bigger systems, so big. So these are gonna cost money. Now, last but not least, now okay, I have become the best LLM engineer in my company. I received best employee of some 25th January day. I'm just kidding. So best employee of 2025. So you can choose specialization. Basically, there are companies which specifically hire agentic AI engineers, vision engineers, and edge engineers as well. So, what are these? Agentic applications are basically they use agentic AI. Agentic AI is nothing but a self controlling mechanism with an LLM involved is called agent. So, it has knowledge on its environment. It knows what to do for the inputs it receives and it sends you outputs. So, that is the basic definition of it. And we need to also have skills in vision, especially if you're going to become vision engineers. So basically this include all your modern great use cases that you have in project: drone visuals, shopping visuals, which are not shopping visuals, shopping mall visuals, and other things. Edge AI is nothing but when AI is deployed in your, for example, Alexa, right? Or some other small speaker you bought which has inbuilt AI system in it. So these are edge AI, which is nothing but you're deploying in the edge systems. So this, sorry, I filled the entire slide, but hopefully this gave you some basic understanding on what is generally required in 2026. So thanks for watching this video. I'm gonna make a lot more videos. If you do like the content, do like it and subscribe to this channel.